Hello, my name is Cheryl Richardson, and I will be presenting a short tutorial on social power. References will be at the end of the presentation. The objectives are to briefly discuss the 5 types of social power, analysis of social power in a work setting, and the alpha dog concept. The Basis of Social Power was published in 1959 by sociologists John French and Bertram Raven. There are 5 types of social power: legitimate, reward, coercive, referent, and expert power. Legitimate power is also known as positional power. This is power given based on the position of the person. The extent of power is determined by the position in the organizational hierarchy, such as managers report to chiefs of a department, the chiefs report to the director. The higher your position is in the organization, the more power the person holds. Without the position, the person has no power because the subordinates respected the power of the position and not the person as an individual. Legitimate power is enforced and based on rules of the organization. Failure to comply results in disciplinary action. Legitimate power does not necessarily make that person a good leader. There are advantages and disadvantages of legitimate power. Advantages are displays the level of authority based on the organizational hierarchy. Rules and laws exist to reinforce legitimate power, and society accepts it as a cultural norm. Disadvantages are does not encourage employee loyalty. Legitimate power can be abused, and it doesn't always result in effective organizations. Most employees and organizations comply with what they are told to do because they believe in the legitimacy of the power and the position that the person holds. Reward power is a form of type of power, not a personal power. It is used when a person has the authority to give rewards, incentives, and compensation to others in an organization. It is often used to get employees to follow an instruction or an order. Examples of rewards include a bonus, pay raise, compensatory time, gifts, praise, and recognition. Rewards can be positive and negative. If incentives are given out fairly, it can motivate employees to want to do more and better. However, if the rewards are not given fairly, it will demotivate employees and essentially make the reward power less valuable. There are advantages and disadvantages of reward power. Advantages are it encourages employees to work more diligently to earn the reward, can promote loyalty to the organization, can create healthy competition between employees to achieve the reward. Rewards can improve retention, and recognition as a team reward can strengthen a bond for everyone to work toward achieving a common goal. Disadvantages include repeating the same reward can decrease the power and interest in the reward, can be costly for the organization. Rewards for performance may decrease other employees' motivation, and giving rewards to an employee may cause them to expect the reward in the future. Coercive power is when a person has the authority and ability to punish others. This is the opposite of reward power. Employees must be careful to follow the rules or instructions to avoid a penalty in the form of a punishment. Examples of penalties are removal of privileges, loss of job, verbal abuse, demotion, or written reprimand. Sometimes employees are bullied into doing things out of fear of losing their jobs. This usually creates resentment and is only effective in a short term. The type of power creates fear of being punished for poor performance. There are 2 types of coercions: direct and indirect. Direct is a formal threat by a leader to perform a specific behavior. Indirect is a perceived threat by the employee. Advantages include disciplinary action can be applied for insubordination, preventing harassment and discrimination, and can be used to turn around a situation that will have an adverse effect with the organization. Disadvantages are decreases job satisfaction, requires close supervision, not effective if the threat cannot be carried out, reduces creativity, and not effective for long-term use. Referent power is a person's ability to influence others because they admire and respect the person. They want to be like that person. This type of power is personal, not formal. This type of power is gradually gained over time. It sets the example by modeling the behavior expected within the organization. Role models have referent power. Advantages of referent power are establishes good working relationships and collaboration with others, inspires workers to be dedicated to their job, and increases productive behavior. Disadvantages are takes time to develop trust, can be difficult to model and get things done if the cultural behavior is different. A way to gain referent power is to befriend influential people of the organization, be in the in crowd, and people will respect you. Expert power is recognition of a person's talent, knowledge, and abilities, which provides them influential power. It is a personal power based on expert knowledge. The most important aspect of expert power is to know your job, perform your job well, and continue to build those skills and gain different skills through cross training. Learning other people's job can increase expert power. Advantages are increases trust and guidance of others, gain respect by others in the organization because of your abilities, and the person may receive invitations to attend important meetings and decisions because of their knowledge. Disadvantages are sharing knowledge may decrease power. Most must constantly work on keeping skills up to date, and they can neglect to see the bigger picture and challenges facing the organization when they see everything through the lens of an expert. The analysis of the dominant type of social power in my work setting is legitimate power. There are several layers of organizational hierarchy which determine the amount and importance of each person's power. This also provides a certain level of influences with employees. The top leadership receive formal respect because of their position and title, not necessarily as individuals. Employees are likely to do what they are instructed for fear of punishment for insubordination. The morale is not very high, and employee comments are not favorable. This demonstrates more respect for the position of authority than for the leader. However, there are good leaders in mid-management who are well respected and serves as a buffer to get things done. Most employees generally like their job in assisting others and will comply with the organization's rules to avoid any adverse actions. The alpha dog concept is a person who has an aggressive drive for achievement by any means necessary. This type of behavior can cause organizational risk instead of assets. They instill fear and resentment versus trust and respect. Alpha leaders are confident with lots of courage and tireless energy in competitive situations. However, extreme pressure can change their confidence to arrogance and toughness to belligerence. There are two types of alphas, functional and dysfunctional. Functional alphas assume a dominant role with the qualities and confidence for leadership. They are result-driven, insist on top performance for themselves and others, pursue objectives, and driven by the mission. They are an inspiration when at their best. Dysfunctional alphas can be destructive, create resistance, resentment, and revenge. Most people prefer not to work with them even though they admire their competence. These alphas can be demanding, impatient, unwilling to listen, abusive, and use of micromanaging tactics. Of course, these are the extremes of alpha dogs. Most are somewhere in between the two. Alpha dogs can be very productive and successful with coaching. The first step is to have patience and make them aware of the negative effect of their own behavior. Once this happens, the coach can begin strengthening the alpha dog's weaknesses to make them more of an effective leader. This concludes my tutorial. References are on the last slide.